Paul. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Just doing a little jamming. I was jamming last night with a bunch of friends over on OU812. Steve, if you're still in the chat, Steve is one of the veterans of that jamming channel. But these are some of the tracks that we were playing. And let me try to find this other one. Actually, try one I've never played. Wait, that's C sharp. Well, that's C sharp minor again, but it's a different chart. There's a nice DJ fade out. Hey,
Yeah. Here's one
Good to
for
see
all
you,
you
Steve.
truckers out there.
how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Jeff?
Good to see you.
I don't know if I've stumbled across this before. Is this a new phenomenon?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was like I came over, I clicked the mouse button, and I'm live. So
Oh, it just happens, right?
no plan, no schedule.
Yep.
It seems the way that I operate most things.
Hey, man.
But no, we were on last night. We missed you and Q. I was on there with Ryan and John.
Oh, on
and
you
Randy.
the OU812 Saturday night show? Yeah.
Yeah. So John had John had these cool backing tracks that he didn't know the name of them. I wanted them, but he
Right.
had, but I was able to find one with Shazam. So I stumbled on the artist that I think he was pulling from. But he had renamed them, and I think he renamed them Songs That Randy Hates.
Yes.
C sharp minor and modulation and all that kind of good
Yeah.
stuff.
No, it's that's why I like doing it to Q.
Yeah.
You know.
I thought E
Those-
major. Yeah, okay, well that's E major too. That's the same as E major.
Well, yeah, but I had him playing in Phrygian on Friday night. Yeah.
I bet he was saying words that sounded like Phrygian as he played too. Right?
Yes, they did start with a fur kind of sound. Yeah. But no, I mean, and funnily enough, like he got it. Like we did like sort of 3 rounds each,
Right.
and yeah, first go for him was very cautious. Lots of trepidation and kind of stumbling through where stuff was.
Right.
But by the end of the second and into the third, he was like, "Oh, I'm starting to get this." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's not that hard."
He's very good. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got great touch, feel.
Yep.
His
Yep.
sense,
and he's sort of he's almost pigeonholed himself as just like being a sort of vanilla rock player, and he's not.
yeah.
He's got far more capability than that.
I don't know anybody else that can play with a roll of toilet paper in your hand.
Right?
That's unique. That will.
I mean,
take
it's
him,
a gift.
That'll take him places. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like the washroom. That's where it'll take
You all
him.
going to the TPQ show tonight? Yeah. Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, we'll be on later on today. So
Hey, I got a question for you.
yes.
So when I was playing last night, as I'm playing, it sounds like everything's in sync. But when I listen to the playback, I can't figure out if I'm delayed behind the music or the music is delayed behind what I was playing. But it's definitely out of sync, by a few seconds.
Well, I noticed when I was messaging you to say, "Hey, I'm ready."
Yeah.
Your reply appeared in the chat before you leant to your keyboard to type it.
So, maybe you have a time machine. Is that what
There's
you're saying?
yeah, that's right. So by the sounds of it, your video is delayed.
Yeah.
No,
but seriously, in this, so when you were listening to me play, does the music and the music?
Oh, everything sounds
playing-
fine. But what I
okay.
noticed was when you typed, I can't remember what it was,
Oh, okay.
and
yeah.
as it appeared in the chat, you then leant forward to type it, and it was like, oh, hang on a second.
Here, I'm gonna type something now. Okay, there you go. Okay, I just saw it pop up. Did you see
Yeah,
it?
so that seemed to be in sync, but maybe with the music playing, there's a little bit of.
Although,
a
are you
little bit of
looking
a-
at the chat on StreamYard right now, or are you looking at it on YouTube? Because I know YouTube will definitely have a.
Oh,
chat
actually, yeah,
delay.
maybe it was on YouTube, so maybe
You can
there's
see
a
my
delay
friend
on
12
YouTube.
Gauge is here. 12 Gauge does a lot of lives, and he'll ask the chat a question, and then he'll talk about how you kind of have to sit there and wait and wait and wait. Oh, there's an answer. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, maybe it's YouTube that had the video delay then.
The question just can't be like, answer this question in 5 seconds, or I'm going to blow this place up.
Yeah, well, but it should be.
Makes
It's
for a
like
short live.
yeah, like you answer the question, or I'm driving through a bus stop right now.
Hey, Rhonda's at the grocery store. Do you need anything? She can pick us up. You need milk?
Yeah, if we could get anything non-vegan, that would be great.
Bring me a vegan. We'll eat the vegan.
Well, see, this is what I hate this about like product descriptions and that. So, when you order a pepperoni pizza, what's
Yeah.
on it?
Pepperoni?
Yeah, when you order vegetarian pizza, there's no vegetarians on there.
I see where you're going.
Yeah, it's same with Girl Guide cookies. There's no Girl Guides in them. It's complete hogwash. It is lying to their clientele. It shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
I can't think of any other food that's like that.
You don't need to. It's
My
okay.
my wit with food is slower than
Yeah.
is that. Oh, sorry, just looking at text.
No, I just have a penchant for literal humor.
Yeah.
You know, it makes me chuckle. You know.
Words are fun. Words are
Yeah.
fun.
My doctor told me to take this medicine after a hot bath, but by the time I'd finished drinking the hot bath, I was full.
Now you go back to the doctor. I've got a scalded tongue. Now what?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of scalded, I've got some bad poison ivy. I don't know if you can see that. It's
Oh,
pretty
geez, look
nasty.
at you.
Yeah, but man, I was in the shower and I have never taken a shower with the water all the way hot. And
Really?
I was just washing it with soap and getting all that
Yeah.
urishal oil out of there and everything. And hopefully it's not bad to do that. I didn't Google to see if it's scalding hot water. All I
Well-
know is it felt so good.
Well, I mean, the thing is, hot water will always encourage blood flow. So blood flow's got to be a good thing, right? So,
I would think so. I would think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, but it yeah.
I mean, assuming the blood flow is staying on the inside, you know,
Right.
If the blood flow is coming out, not so good.
Hey,
You know,
now
you
come
wanna-
on. This
you-
is music time. I do true crime a lot. We are always
Yeah.
talking about blood flow on the outside.
Yeah.
This is
keep
this
the
is
magic,
time we
keep the
we
magic fluid on the inside. Yeah,
Only blood should be coming from your fingertips. as you play too.
exactly.
So you want to
Speaking of which,
try?
you want to do some more C sharp minor?
Yeah. So what works better if I play the track from this end or from your end? Which,
Makes no
is there
difference to me,
no
really,
difference?
as long as we get the mix right. Your mix is sounding good from what I'm hearing, so
You want to just
I'll just
continue with
join in at my normal settings, and you tell me if I sound
Okay.
too hot or quiet. So,
Yeah, and I can bring you up and
well, I got a knob right here.
wait. I can't see you.
Yeah,
Wait, let me
right
switch
there,
back.
right there.
Okay, you talk-
That's where
okay.
I'm pointing. I'm
Just
not
making sure
pointing
this is a
anywhere else.
kid-friendly show. I
Yes,
don't want
exactly. Yeah, well, that's the one thing about murder and crime. It's very, very kid friendly.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Damn. Is everything? Oh, I know it's all in C sharp because I searched C sharp.
I'm totally okay with C sharp. I don't mind. It's a nice
Yeah,
key.
Let's keep with it. Let's keep with
Yeah.
it. We'll just try one that I've never tried, and maybe you've never tried. This guy is named Pat Matrone.
Oh, I was going to say Pat Metheny. I've heard of Pat Metheny.
Wait, let me put it up so we can see his shit. Metheny. Pat Metheny.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is Pat Matrone. So
Okay.
hopefully, I don't know if he minds people jamming over his stuff, but it's great.
Well,
Go-
if you're going
go
to put it on
visit
YouTube, it's going to happen, right? So it's
Well, the last time I did this, I actually played like along with Skinnerd and Hart and Santana, and it got copyright
Oh, yeah.
hits, but it's okay. It's okay. We still have
a lot
fun.
of the guys that do these very nice backing tracks, thankfully, make them kind of public domain. So it's
That's cool.
It's-
Hopefully
it's pretty-
hopefully
There's
that's the case with
There's a
this.
couple. There's a couple that don't, but yeah.
Let's pick a key. We'd like C sharp minor.
I'll
groovy,
go with whatever you want to have a go at. I don't mind.
groovy, bright funk backing track. C minor.
There you go.
C sharp
See?
minor.
Who doesn't like a description like that?
Is that the same one I was playing before?
Who knows?
It's just similar. Okay, why don't you go and I'll set your mix.
Okay. supposed to steal your licks if I can't see your fingers?
funky. I like those pinch harmonics. I'm gonna see if I can fit some in there.
There you go. Pinchy McPincherson. find the right one.
It's in there somewhere.
It was an end. Did you leave?
That was the most brilliant thing I've ever said, and it was muted. And I forgot what I said, too. Ah.
There you go.
Oh, well. I just cured cancer.
Yep.
But I'm the only one who knows it, and I forgot.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No, that makes total sense at all.
So, man, you're doing some cool stuff in there.
So
I like the tapping. I know you're searching for a little bit, but you've found some cool stuff. I also like that you do those double stops, and I always forget to lean on, doing things like that.
Oh, the all that like, Oh, and
yeah,
the sixths.
And when you're doing that, you're considering like the chords of that are in the chord family, right? Mm-hmm. So you would be doing like, so technically,
so it's diatonic, basically is,
that should fit. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I don't think of that instantly. I think mainly because we're playing in a minor. Mm-hmm. When I play in a minor, I resort back to my high school days where all I did was use a pentatonic minor.
Pentecostals.
Pentecostal minor.
So you can play over.
They shouldn't be standing outside of the church unattended, really.
So you can play admonished chords. Yes.
But so I fall back instantly to that pentatonic minor shape, and that's where my brain thinks. Mm-hmm. But sometimes then my brain does start thinking, like the moment I playing that when I went into just a E major.
You should probably put yourself on screen so I can see what you're talking about.
Oh, that would help.
Yeah.
There I am.
Not that I'm feeling self-conscious or anything. But
Everybody look at Steve. Look at Steve.
I'm feeling unconscious.
Hey, Ted is here.
Yeah, there goes the neighborhood.
Hey, let's for Ted. Let's do this. Hey, Ted, in your honor. Let's do a little scratching for Ted.
He loves it.
For those of you that aren't in on the joke, Ted is very big into scratch off cards. Hey, there you go.
Yep. Or just the. Or the whole reason why I wear this ring.
Is that that's?
Basically, I use it as I use it as a slide. Yeah. I first saw Dweezil Zappa doing it in the early '90s, so I'm stealing that.
Nice. Get some Rage Against the Machine kind of stuff going with that.
So you get the palm scrub plus the.
Sweet. I'm picturing like a satellite flying across the
Exactly.
sky.
It's all the weird sci-fi noises.
Very cool. Let me
Nobody
see.
needs to play notes when you got that. You know?
That's right. Just make sounds.
Yeah.
What key do you like? You want an A minor?
I could care less.
Roll the dice, move your
Yeah.
mice.
Exactly. It pays your money. It takes your choice.
How about Spacey Fusion Ballad? In A
Sounds
minor?
good. Is it in a key?
It's in the key of A minor.
Oh, it's. We're gonna play some Am. Okay, let's do some Am. Okay.
All right, you take it away. There we go.
heard that.
Sound like a mistake. Until you do it again, right?
Well, yeah, play it more than once. It's fine. If you can add a little sincerity chin as you play it, that's.
Ended like Bryan Adams, right?
Because it cuts like a knife.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. that's how it's supposed to end.
Yes,
Oh,
all funk tunes end with that. Yeah, it's a trademark of the genre.
I'm just checking something. Let me see what we got to probably go soon. Take
It's
the
an hour.
kids home.
Yep.
But let me just see. Let me see how close my wife is to. She's still en route. We can still jam.
Whew, one more. Yeah, I
One more.
got to meet buddies for lunch in a little while
Yeah.
anyway, so it's all good. It's all good.
Let's
Ted is an imposter, so you were right.
Imposter Ted.
Oh yeah, he's always
Shoulda
an
known.
imposter.
I shoulda
Every time he's an imposter.
How about a B minor here? Let's B minor.
Yes.
Spacey, groovy, funky.
Oh, look at you go.
Groovy,
all-
funky.
It's all the right words.
I'll do a little short one, then you send it to you.
Stabbies. Let's get stabby.
minor.
All right. Yeah, go for it.
Too much wah-wah.
That's because you saw Q was in the chat.
You was in chat?
Yep. You're like, time to play wrong notes. Q's here.
You got time to play?
He's probably only just woken up.
All right, take one, Steve.
Oh, okay then. You said B minor, right?
B minor.
Nice key.
That's the one. It's very Michael Jackson.
It is kind of, isn't it?
Here we go.
Allegedly.
Fast tempo. for me.
That's it. You got it. Oi.
Gotta have that in there. Well, cool, Steve. I can see we are about to load up the kids, take them home.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Thanks
Go
for
do some
dropping
real
by,
life
man.
stuff instead of this silly guitar nonsense.
Nah, this is what keeps you sane. Keeps
Sure
you from.
thing.
I think all the people that do evil stuff and awful stuff in the world, if only they'd learn to play some guitar. Maybe we
Oh.
need to go on like a one of those. Just
We need to get on our soapboxes and put the world to right. Is what
we
you're
can
telling
go
me.
visit the jails and we can say, hey.
Yeah.
If you don't, they,
You know,
whoever
I-
didn't get you a guitar when you were younger, they
I
blamed ya.
think forget that. Go to the source. Go to the parliaments and make them play guitar.
There you go. There you go. Actually, though, if you go in the jails and you tell them we're going to put an axe in your hand, maybe they'll be like, where do I sign up? Where do I sign up?
Yeah. But they might want to ask you a question
There you
too.
go.
So, yeah.
I always forget to put myself on camera.
Yeah.
But,
I'm used to it.
well, cool, man. Thanks for everybody that stopped by. I think we got like 5,000 in here. Oh, 5.
Again.
Okay.
Yep.
7,000. I mean, 7.
There you go.
I think I got fooled by Ryan. I think Ryan said they were.
Oh, they were
30
always talking
30
about having 60,000 people
Yeah, they
or
said
whatever, and you're like,
36,000 people
wow.
watching it. Holy crap! Really?
Yeah. No.
And all of a sudden, I got real
Hey,
nervous.
look,
And then
what's a 0 or 2 between friends? I mean,
Right.
ultimately, nothing.
it's just a goose egg.
Yeah, it's just 0. It's nothing.
The goose doesn't even miss it. I don't hear
No,
the
I know
goose
exactly right.
knocking on the door. Hey, you got my egg.
All right. Well, thanks for
All right.
letting me up, and yeah, that was better than doing the plumbing I was going to do. So thanks very much.
Get to your plumbing.
You've helped me procrastinate. I
Oh
appreciate
man,
it.
I'm a pro at that. You've come to the right place. You definitely
Yes,
come to the right
yeah,
place.
yeah.
All right, thanks, Steve.
All right. Bye
We'll do
for
it again
now.
soon. All right, bye. All right, everybody, signing off. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Happy Sunday to you, and prayers to everything that's going on in our country and countries abroad right now. Hopefully hopefully all that works out, heads towards the better, as we always hope. Okay, see you next time. Bye.